Hi, everybody. I am super excited tonight because tonight we're going to talk about something that is very challenging for us. We may say a little bit of ouches tonight, but we may leave with a better thought in mind. So, again, my name is Ilyasa Simpson. I'm coming to you live from the Charge Room, and I'm super excited again because what we do here at the Charge Room, we bring awareness to healing our souls that may be hurting. We bring awareness to healing souls that may be hurting. So this is under, I have two platforms, one for men and one for women. The women, our platform is called Queens Must Wear Crowns, and that's airs every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. So this topic will be under the umbrella for women, but men can listen too. If you're on, it's okay, you don't have to log off. But we are here tonight just to share some awareness, just sharing awareness, and it's something that both men and women could be guilty of, right? So tonight, like I said, we're talking about how to say no without feeling guilty. So take this time out to like and share to anyone that you can think of that may have a problem saying no and feeling guilty about it. I know you have friends, right? I know you have friends that feel guilty about saying no. So take this time out to share this link and we can talk about it. Yes, yes, yes. So I also want to let everybody know that I have a Charge Room page on Facebook. Please like that page. I also have the Charge Room page on Instagram. Please follow that page. I have a YouTube channel, and I'm asking, could you please subscribe to my page? So it's called the Charge Room Inc. on YouTube. But on Facebook and Instagram, it's the Charge Room. So again, take some time out to share this page, like this page, share this topic, because we're talking about how to say no without feeling guilty, right? So I always, am a person that talks about self improvement, self care, self development, right? And this topic actually falls underneath that category. Because when I bring out my opening statement, which is always everything begins and ends with you, is definitely something to think about. So check this out. Let's dissect this for a minute. We're going to unpack a few things so we can see where we're going with this. Okay, so again, it's how to say no without feeling guilty. And I need you guys to listen closely. If you need to get a pen, a piece of paper, or a book, write some copious notes because I'm going to give you some life tips. Okay, so let's start with this. Your perception is, how you're thinking, is based on your environment, your experience, and your education. So remember, humans are psychonumisomatic individuals. That's being of the body, the soul, and the spirit. And as humans, we constantly battle from the good on one side, the evil on the other, and what's right and what's wrong. And every day we face that. Every day we have to stop and think. And a lot of times we only do move on emotion of what makes us feel good. Most of the times we move on emotions of what makes us feel good. And a lot of times when we hit points of friction, things that trigger our emotions, this is what we do. We either fight it, we flight it, we run away from it, we freeze, or we freeze. So we either fight it, we flight, or we freeze. So with fighting it, we face it. We embrace what it is. Okay, this is what it is. Let me face it. We flight it. We run away from it. We avoid it. We're acting like it's not there, right? And then we freeze. When we freeze, we do absolutely nothing. That's when we really ignore it times 10. Like, okay, we dismiss it and this is not what's going on, right? So your response most of the time is off of an opinion off what someone says, or an opinion of how you think about yourself, right? So that opinion will trigger some feelings inside of you. So if someone says something that really doesn't take to your spirit, you're gonna start feeling some kind of way, right? Things start brewing up in you, like, and you start thinking, right? And it all depends on where you are in your life based on how you respond to these triggers, right? So it's given an example is if you have a high self-esteem or low self-esteem or insecurities, things like that. So when someone speaks of you, and it's all about how they view you, because a lot of times what we do, we pay attention to what others say about us more so than how we actually feel about ourselves. Roll with me. So my thing is, I'm always going to give the suggestions. Never be concerned about how someone views you, how they think about you, what they say about you, because it places you in a place of uncomfortability. And you will go back to that part where you either fight it, flight it, or you freeze, right? So again, only be concerned about how you feel. Never be concerned about how somebody else feels about you, because it'll start a line, pile up line of emotions, a mountain, even a volcano. And you start to resent people based on what you think or what you've heard them say about you. And a lot of times it's through a third party way, right? Oh, this one was talking about me. And not necessarily that may have been true, but it's because it came by third party, and that third party is your good girlfriend or a good cousin or a good family member, like whoever it is. You place trust in that person and you believe them. But that person could be a carrier of bad news. That person could be all wrapped up shiny and could be the enemy coming to throw darts at you. That person may not be the exact person that you think they are, because they're talking negative. They're spreading negative news. And if you think about it, well, if they had enough time to sit and get that information, what else was you talking about? It's just something to think about. Okay. So also, it's not just your view on from others, it's how you view yourself. And how that breaks down is you would have negative self-talk against yourself, or you overthink about something. And when you do this, you're placing judgment on yourself. Or did you even think about it like that? Like, are you placing judgment on yourself? Ask yourself that question. Do you walk in the light of negative opinions of yourself or others? Do you run from it? Like, do you avoid it? Do you freeze up? Do you dismiss it, or you just act like it's not happening? Like the elephant in the room. Or if you ever walk in a room and everyone is lively talking, and then when you walk in the room, everything kind of quiets down or shuts up, and that causes you to have a reaction. That causes you for emotions to trigger up, for friction in your emotions to happen. That's real talk. That's what happens. So again, a piece of advice, a suggestion: take time out to look through your own book. your own book. Examine your pages. Remember, you are the only person that can tell your real story. Never allow anyone to speak your story but you. You are your best storyteller. Never give anyone that much power. That's a type of power that someone can have over you to restrain you, to freeze you, to stop you in your tracks. No one deserves that type of power. And most of all, don't do it to yourself, because that's how you allow the enemy to come into your spirit to challenge you about yourself. Again, nobody knows you more so than you, because you have deep talk secrets that you tell no one, but you know them. So you are your best person about you, but we are also our worst enemy. So I'm just bringing some awareness today about self and where we could be in our heads that could bring upon guilty feelings of telling someone no. Okay. So again, I'm on mindset. I love mindset. I love mindset because you, it is so with best practices to have reflection, self reflect, to be in the right state of mind. Think before you place action to something, before you make decisions, right? So now check this out. Who do we have challenges saying no to, right? We have challenges saying no to our children, no matter how young or old they are, period, right? As mothers, that's what we do. That's what we do, right? Our significant others or our spouses, our close friends, our family members, especially the super favorite. So it's the super favorite friends, the super favorite family members, right? We have a tendency to have a super soft spot in our heart that we just can't say no. And then you may reflect that onto something like, dag, I worked 2 jobs or 3 jobs, so I wasn't able to spend time with so and so. So maybe I should make it up, and whatever they want, I'm going to do for them. But you have to step back a minute before you make that decision to say yes. So let's circle back, right? Let's circle back on how saying no to somebody can trigger friction or stir up emotion in your spirit, right? So the first thing we do in our minds is, like, you ask yourself stuff like this. Like when they ask you a question, right? You say, like, can we do exactly what they want us to do, what they're asking of us? Can we do that? Like, do we really? Then you ask yourself, like, do you really want to do it? Like, are they deserving of what they're asking me for, right? Should you do, should, and you say, like, should you do it? Because you contemplate it, like, yeah, maybe, but you contemplate, right? And then it's like, what would that person do it for me? Like, these types of questions, you know, come to your mind, or should come to your mind, or may not come to your mind. But it's just something to think about. Then ask yourself, like, okay, so they're asking you something, asking you to do something for them. No matter what it is, I don't care what it is. Buy me some sneakers, mom. Mom, can I have $50? Can I borrow your car? Like anything, whatever it is, right? You got to ask yourself, like, mentally and emotionally, where are you in life when someone is asking you a favor, or just asking you because they think you should, or maybe they feel you owe them? It's a few things, right? So, could you could be in a state of mind where you're in a negative space or ugly space or a dark space and you don't realize it. Somebody could have pissed you off at work and you transferred that energy to home. Somebody pissed you off at home and you transferred that energy to a social event. Anything could have triggered, your thoughts and emotions, right? So you could have been tired. You could have been irritable. You could have been anxious. You could have been frustrated. You could have been resentful. You could have been spiteful. You could have been overwhelmed. You could have been guilty. You could have been shameful, right? But then there's a part that you could have been in a good mood, right? So you could have been excited, peaceful, grateful, carefree, loving, cheerful. So ask yourself, where are you in your emotions, right? So just to say this, the response to where you are in your emotions determines the level of guilt that you hold in your heart, in your soul, in your spirit when telling someone no. So you see how all of this ties together, how you have to look at self. Now that was a deep breakdown, right? Like how do you say no? How do you say no without feeling guilty, right? Again, everything begins and ends with you. You, you, you. And depending on where you are in your emotions, whether it's negative or positive, will determine the level of guilt that you will have saying no to a person. Now, most of us, we love helping other people. Most of us. And we'll just there's some people that's just free givers, just like, oh, I'll help you, I'll do it. Some people are just intrusive with, jumping in to help, those super nurturers, right? They're very intrusive with helping, like meddlers. I call them meddlers sometimes because it's like, okay, could you calm down a minute? That's not what I asked you for. Just relax. Some people just don't know what to do with themselves, or maybe they don't have anything to do with themselves, so they like to just help others, or the super volunteers, right? So when you're like that and you like helping others, it's like, are you helping someone, right? Are you helping a person? And do you feel that you may be at risk of hurting yourself by helping the next person? Do you ever think about that? Do you ever ask yourself those types of questions? Like, who's really benefiting here? Who's really benefiting? And then another part to look at is, for me helping that person, am I being not just a helper, but an enabler? It's what you do with your children all the time. Mom, can I have this? Mom, could you do this? Mom, could you do that? Mom. Okay, because you everybody know, mom, sometimes you like, don't call me anymore, right? Don't call me. Don't say ma, nothing, right? Not, because sometimes our children, I don't care how old they are, they run ma, mom, ma, whatever you want to call the mother figure. They will run, run it down in the ground, right? Or your significant other, right? Or your spouse, bae, wife, husband, whoever it is, whatever you title yourself, they will call your name to the moon underneath the dirt. Like, do this for me. Could you do that for me? Could you do this for me? And then you do it. You do it. Why? Because you love them so much. And then again, like it's times that you may feel guilty because maybe you didn't spend enough time with the person that you felt you should have. Maybe you weren't able to actually maybe buy something that the person really wanted, and you're bringing that guilt, that heaviness down onto yourself, and you feel bad. So it's like whatever you think you can do, you try to do, and sometimes you sacrifice yourself in ways that you should not sacrifice, just because of the weight that you weigh down on yourself to help this person that you love, this person that you care about, right? So, you have to take a look, like, is it really worth the sacrifice? But then ask yourself, am I giving, from an empty cup? Is your cup empty and you're exhausting yourself by running to help this one, running to help that one? Ask yourself, who is filling up your cup? Who is filling up your cup? Because you are helping everyone else keep their cup full. You're maintaining full cups around here. You are maintaining everybody else's cup to where you lost total focus on your own cup. Total focus. And sometimes it's days, weeks, months, years will go by and you never notice it until one day you're sitting and you have a need, and it's pressing on your heart and pressing on your spirit. And as humans, like I said, we need love too. So whatever we feel that we don't have, we are in a lack of, which keeps our cup very low or empty. Again, it brings it back to your self-esteem. What level is your self-esteem at? What level are your securities? Are you insecure or are you secure? Or are you in between? Or how about this? I don't know. You have to identify these things, because when you identify exactly who you are and where you are in your emotions, and if somebody asks you a question, does it trigger something in you? Does it cause you some kind of friction or fire kind of burning up, which will ignite into even more negative emotions? Ask yourself these things. Save yourself, okay? Save yourself. We gotta learn to keep our own cups full. We have to learn that we can't maintain everyone else's cup. And let's have reciprocity. Let me bring up reciprocity. If you are giving, whoever you're giving needs to give back to you. Whoever you're giving to, you're asking yourself, does this person, when I do things for them, does it demonstrate, are they grateful? Do they show signs of gratefulness? Do they show signs of being disrespectful? Do they dismiss you when you have a conversation or a topic that needs to be spoken upon, to be brought to the floor? Do they ignore you? Oh, I'm going to call you back. Oh, I'll be right back. And that right back never happens. And every time you try to express your feelings, because you're being an adult about this, the person disappears or they're never there. You have to ask yourself these things, right? Ask yourself these things, because that will let you know how to measure your cup of fullness, right? Because if you're feeling a strain, if you're constantly doing, giving, and no matter what, the person is casting you to the side, showing no type of respect, showing no type of gratefulness, you're going to feel that. And it's just going to sit and fester and fester. And sometimes you go like, but I love them. They're my friend. I love them. That's my man. I love them. That's my husband. I love them. That's my family. I love them. Those are my children. Check this out. Who's loving you? Who is loving you? And if you don't love you first, baby, no one's loving you. What how you serve yourself is how others view you. That's their perception of you. How you present yourself. If you present yourself, down crunched and you can't even walk proud, no one's gonna treat you. Your posture matters in every way, period. Posture. Level up your posture. Don't allow people the power to view you in a way that's disrespectful, not honorable, not admirable, right? It's all about self. Who are you within yourself? If you do not feel that you level up, baby, it's time to level up. It's time to step up and not allow people to run all over you. It's time for you to stand up for your life, purpose, stand up for your opinion. Guess what? You have something to say too. You have feelings too. You have emotions too. So it's not all about the next person, because they'll turn around and flip it on you. Oh, you don't do nothing for me. Meanwhile, you gave them your whole life. You gave them your whole life, and a child will do it to you in a minute. When they get grown, baby, first they start between 11 and 12. Then after 11 and 12, it's between 15 and 16. And then it's that 17 and 18. And then it's between the 19 and 21. Let me tell you, your children will flip it on you. They will flip it on you at those age points, baby. That shift happens, and you better shift with it. Because if you don't shift with it, you're going to sit and get stuck, and you'll be disappointed. You will be hurting. Your heart will be bleeding, and you are still giving them, and they are running your life upside down miserably. Miserably. Why should you be miserable and your kids running around here happy? Why should you be miserable and your husband is running around here happy? Your spouse, your insignificant other is running around here happy and you're miserable. Why is that? Let's bring it back to self. Okay, so what's wrong with this picture here? What's wrong with this picture here, self? What's wrong with this picture? Ladies, we are queens. We are not bitches. We are queens. And if you didn't know you were a queen, today's the day. Under Queens Must Wear Crowns, under the charge room, you are now told that you are a queen. And with a queen, you have eminent domain over your reign. And when does that happen? It happens at all times. So level up, ladies. Level up. You are queens. Check yourself. Look in the pages of your book. No one can tell a story like you. You know what your pages look like. You know what crying your eyes out looks like. You know what hearts bleeding looks like. You know what upset stomachs look like. You know what aches and pains feels like. You know what that does to you. You don't have to allow that to happen. You have given everyone else power over you. Take your power back. Take your power back. I hope y'all are listening to me. I hope I'm making sense to somebody. I hope I'm touching somebody. I hope someone hears me right now. Stop feeling guilty saying no. Ask yourself questions. Ask yourself questions. Is it worth your sacrifice? Is this person going to treat me the way I want to be treated? Just the respect. Just the respect. Do they respect your time? Do they respect your knowledge? Do they respect your skills, your gifts, your talents? People try to use you because you're talented. They don't even want to pay you your worth. And not only that, you don't even look at yourself to be worth anything because you're doing it so much, so often, right? So you can't put a monetary value on what you're saying. Oh, well, this is just me. Baby, God gave us gifts to prosper in our life. It's not to be run over. It's not to be tarnished. It's not to be kicked. It's not to be thrown. It's not to be disrespected. It's not to be crumbled up or thrown in the garbage. If you are overthinking, if your self-esteem is low, I need you to ask yourself, where am I getting these thoughts from? And if you don't have an answer, I need you to crumble them up and throw them in the garbage. Arrest these negative thoughts. Arrest this overthinking and throw them in the garbage. Because who told you that? Where did you get that from? And if you did actually get it from a person or a third party or is hearsay, and you're fearing that thing, you're allowing the negative feelings to trigger you up to feel even more low, more negative, more insecure. You come up with feelings of resentment like that. Jealousy, envy starts popping up. Why do they always have something? Or why do they always look like they're winning and I'm not? Ask yourself again, why aren't you winning? Why aren't you in? You're talking about that person, but talk about yourself. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. And ask yourself, why do I feel guilty if I tell this person no? And go down the list. Does this person treat me good? Would this person do this for me? Should I be doing this for that person? Let reciprocity happen. Because if you're giving love, and this what you think is love, because you're only just straining yourself, are they giving you love in return? You need love too. You need love too. So let's talk about some solutions, right? We're gonna have a great comeback story. So let's build this comeback story, right? Because now here's the problem. We talked about the problem, right? All problems have solutions. You have to have patience. Have patience with yourself to sit down and evaluate what exactly is going on. Now that you identified the problem, because you got these feelings here. These feelings kick up. They trigger up because you just don't want to say no. What makes you feel uneasy, right? Why does that feel uneasy to you? Let's start here. Be accountable. Be accountable of who you are. Be accountable of how you think, right? Be accountable. Not only that, make everyone else around you accountable. Make people be accountable of their behavior on how they treat you. If they don't want to extend themselves, and I'm taking a long road with the extending. That's being real generous, because you shouldn't have to feel like you're being tolerated. You should be able to feel love from someone, real love, and it's genuine, because you're giving love that's genuine. You only want it in return, not, oh, someone is tolerating you or they're using you because you have a car. Like, pull that stuff apart. Take those pages out. If someone is using you, throw them in the garbage. Okay? You don't have to feel like you're being tolerated. That's unacceptable, because you're giving from your heart. You're being genuine from your heart. So be accountable. That's number one. And you make others accountable, right? Share your knowledge. Share your gifts. And I'm saying this more so for your children, right? Or even everyone. I'm going to say everyone in your household, because what happens is that everyone in your household comes to you. Everybody in your household comes to you. And I'm sorry, but if I'm having a long day from work and everyone's grown in the house, I do not want to come home to deal with everybody else's stuff. It's not yours, it's theirs. They're grown. Everyone's grown. Everyone is at an age where they should be responsible. Everyone, if that's the case, right? If you have little ones that are dependent upon you, that's a different story. And even at that particular point, while they're young, teach them how to wash their clothes, how to separate the lights from the darks, how to tie their shoes, right? How to braid hair, how to cook simple meals, because it alleviates the pressure off of you, so you can do something for yourself, so you can come home and take an hour and just do self-care, right? Especially after a long hard day of work, you would want to come home, get comfortable, and engulf in some health self-care, right? Because it allows you to breathe some. It allows you to find out what you like, what makes you happy, because some of us, we're older, we have responsibilities. We are not the same individuals as we were when we were teens, as we were when we were young adults. Things change, and your time to yourself, it's very limited, or zero. You have to take your life back. You have to take the power back. Why? Number one reason, because you're a queen. You are a woman. Women should feel like women should feel loved, appreciated, right? Because we're giving love as mothers, we're nurturers, as wives, as significant others, as friends, as family members. We are loving, we are nurturers by nature. 95% nurturers by nature, you know. Um, and we take that responsibility. What we're doing, we either they become codependent on us, or we are enabling them. If we do not share our education, share what our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunts, our uncles, our fathers, our grandfathers share, what they taught us. and share it with your children. Let it be generational education, right? Just sharing love. It's all about sharing love, right? And stuff. It'll be family tradition because that's all it is. Family tradition. We do this, right? Um, give your children responsibility because as you're teaching them things, give them responsibility. Give them chores. I know when I was young, I had chores, right? Nowadays, children are like, "What's a chore? What are you talking about?" Uh, no one has chores. Yeah, like you should, give your child some chores around the house. That's something less that you have to do, or at least take the meat out the freezer. Let it thaw out, so by the time you come home, you don't have to be chopping that frozen meat, or end up getting takeout because no one thawed out any meat for the dinner, right? Again, give them a responsibility. And remember, you are in charge of your life. You are in charge of how people perceive you. You are in charge of how people treat you. You, not anyone else, you. So don't play victim, don't point fingers. It all belongs to you. And remember how you respond. How you respond to what someone says about you or how you think that person will think about you determines how guilty you feel about saying no. No means no, right? No is a word all by itself. No. Practice saying no. No, 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 not today. No, I can't help you. I'm sorry. I'm a little busy right now. Maybe another time, but no, right now. Not today, but maybe tomorrow. No. Practice saying no. Just practice. Practice saying no. And then practice saying no and feel good about it. Like, no. Have no care. Don't let it hit you in your heart like, oh, and here it is. Don't allow anyone to put a guilt trip on you. Don't, because you don't have to justify anything. Let your no be no. Do not justify your no. Do not explain your no. Allow your no to be no. And then you smile. No. Say no with a smile. No. Okay, y'all practice. No. Not today. Gotta go. Have a good day. No. Just say no. You don't have to explain anything because guess what? You're taking your power back. You're taking your life back, right? Because and then there's another part of no. Let me tell you, there's another part of no, right? The other part of no is like this. Don't make excuses for people. Because a lot of times we hold people in high regards or hold them in our heart because we want to be loyal. We want to be committed. And you know that person is doing you dirty. Man, woman, chick, or child. Dirty. But you just sit and act like it's not happening. That's the part where we freeze. Forget the fight. Forget the flight. We just in that freeze mode, right? Change that freeze mode to fight mode. Fight back. Embrace who you are. Get rid of anyone in your life that is not benefiting you. Don't let people hang on your coattail, hang on your ankle while you walk and you feeling all this weight. People hanging around your neck, holding you as you walk. People holding you by your ponytail and you dragging them all with you underneath your armpit, holding you around your waist. Let them go because they serve no purpose. If a person serves absolutely no purpose in your life, that no means no for real. No means no. And it doesn't matter how long you've known a person. It doesn't matter how if they're a family member from birth. It does not matter if it's a coworker that you love to death. It doesn't matter if that person is not benefiting you. Let them go. And there's another part that you may outgrow someone. Let's not forget that. You may outgrow someone, family and friends alike. You may outgrow someone and you start feeling some kind of way. And they always say, if you're the smartest person in the room and no one is giving you and you're the only one giving, it's time to exit. Exit stage left, baby. Exit stage left. It's time for you to go to a different room so you can elevate yourself. And don't feel bad about it. That's another no. It's like somebody commented, no, hell no. Yeah. No. Stop allowing your life to sit in a freeze zone and you getting bitter, you getting ugly, you getting burnt, you're getting scorched, you're getting stabbed, you're getting beat down for the treatment of that other people are handing you, that you are accepting. Come on here. If nobody told you that you are worth something, I am telling you, you are worth everything. God created you. He gave you power. And you're releasing your power to others that are not even caring or demonstrating love that you give them. They are not even returning it. And you're allowing them to get away with it. And then they want to ask something of you, and you keep depleting yourself down to zero of nothing just because you love them. You want to be committed to them. You want to be loyal to them. Did you ever think that you have something in you that they want and they can't have or don't want to have the courage to ask you or how to get it or even be coached or taught? Nothing. You could have something in you that they want and can't have, and they treat you some kind of way. Come on here. Take a look at this thing. Unpack your suitcase and really look and see what's in it. And stop picking up other people's suitcases with their name and not your name on it. Everyone has their own stuff. We have levels of stuff. Unpack your stuff. Analyze each page. Take a self-evaluation here. Learn how to say no. Arrest your negative thoughts, your overthinking. Stop and throw them in the garbage. Stop caring about what somebody could say about you, how somebody thinks about you. Stop thinking that. Who cares about them? Care about yourself. Care about yourself more so. Level up. Because if you don't have everything in you that you feel you should have, level up. Self-development is so important. Posture is so important. Let people see your growth. They're going to talk about you anyway. They're going to talk about you anyway. So what? Be comfortable in your own skin. Be comfortable of who you are. Stand up for who you are. Fight for who you are and what you want out of your life and how you want to be treated. Fight for that. No one is going to give it to you unless you demand it, baby. Your posture tells you that. And how that happens is self-development. Your confidence increases. Your self-esteem improves. Level up. So I'm here to tell you, look at your book. Go through your pages, line by line. Identify what triggers you to have feelings or emotions that cause a friction, that builds up fire sometimes. You're burning yourself. You're burning yourself inside out. And it comes out in ways where you're mishandling yourself and then others mishandle you because you're mishandling yourself. That's where that comes from. Everything ends and begins with you. Start your comeback story today. Today. Start your comeback story today. Rewrite your pages. Press the restart button. Rip out pages that shouldn't be there. Cancel those friends, family members, or let them know. Have a conversation. I love you, but this is not going to work here. Let's talk about it. And guess what? If they have a problem with it, yo, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Don't care about how they feel. You're giving them too much power. You're giving them too much space rented in your head. Stop. Write your own comeback story. Come back. You don't have to feel guilty about nothing because no needs no justification. No. Take your life back. Stop standing in freeze zone. Fight for your life. Fight because you are worth fighting for. Fight for self-development, self-care. Posture yourself. Fight. Let all of that other mess go. Let all of that other mess go. It's time for us to take our lives back. We are queens. Ladies, we are queens. Posture yourself up and walk that red carpet. Step up to your throne and have a seat. My name is Ilyasa Simpson. I'm the CEO of the Charge Room. We have spoken tonight under Queens Must Wear Crowns. Like, share this story, share this topic, and share, period. You do not have to feel guilty about saying no. Everyone, thank you for listening and see you next Thursday. Have a good night. Bye-bye for now.